Find out what's hot.
This is Chris Hill on CLUBAVISION, jazzing it, souling it, funking it, but best of all, larging it.
I had a really strange dream last night. It was so strange. I thought I was back in 1979.
1, 2, 3, time!
Following the succession of the all-dayer event back in 1978 at places like Purley, Reading and the Kent festivals, 1979 was the year that saw the birth of the Caister Soul Weekender. Tunes are supplied by the original Funk Mafia, Chris Hill, Chris Brown and Froggy.
Chris Hill, a character with a multitude of attributes to his name. A man who a great amount of people revere. So let's have a chat with him and find out why. So Chris, how long have you been DJing?
Oh, a long time. I first started DJing in 1966, which is 31 years. I must have been about 5 years old, I guess, when I started. But it was the height of the first real soul explosion in the UK when Motown and Stax and Atlantic were happening, and it was a great time to want to become a DJ because I kept hearing all this great music.
Right, back in the late 70s, the early 80s, you were the don of the Soul Mafia. So tell me a bit about that and what it meant to you.
Well, I used to make people an offer they couldn't refuse, basically.
Chris Hill, actually, that spoke about the scene in New York and about the new mixing techniques. So we arranged a trip to go over there, about 10 of us, to see the Paradise Garage.
We all worked in the same clubs, and we all had enormous power. Not power like
The big daddies.
no, we weren't. It was a power that we had to we could actually break records, and we could create very big records, but by just a few of us, because of these influences we had on certain radio shows. And there was this underground that we kind of controlled, and we fell into this thing of mafia because
Who come up with the name to call you that?
a promoter who once asked another DJ whether he would go and work with him, and he said, I'll have to have a word with Chris Hill. And he said, what are you going to have a word with Chris Hill for? He said, well, I always have a word with Chris Hill before I do anything.
I was working at the Royalty in Southgate, which was a big venue for about 2,000 people. And I went out and got myself in about 20 grand's worth of debt, because technically I did that as an apprentice, you know, about sound. And we put it all around the room as it was in the Paradise Garage. And that's what really started the thing off, you know.
I'll play anything I'm allowed to play. Music I love at the end of the day.
What do you mean allowed to? Do you have restrictions or something there?
Yeah, the audience. If you've got an audience in front of you that like soul, you don't go in there and play another
House
song.
or...
Yeah, exactly. And basically you can, if you're good, change it.
That was the era in which different genres of dance music evolved from, but your heart has stayed with that era, whereas Pete Tong, for example, has moved on with the revolution of dance music. Why?
An interesting question.
Of course.
I'm not sure what it all means. But
Put it in simpler terms
I've stayed with black music, and what happened in the 80s was it was a white music revolution. I mean, white dance music took over, and white techno music and all that was very much a white phenomenon.
Right, Chris, one of your main attributes was your involvement with Ensign Records. It was one of the first British dance labels. So come on then, tell me, who did you sign? What acts did you sign up?
Well, it wasn't specifically a dance label. It was a label that I started with my partner, Nigel Grange, back in '77. And the first acts we signed, well, we had dance, you know, what were dance acts, I suppose, at that time. But I mean, our first biggest act was the Boomtown Rats. And it was the era of punk, and we signed one of the biggest punk bands of the era. It was after that I wanted to make records that I would be able to play in the clubs. So I signed people like Light of the World, and Incognito, Eddie Grant, Black Slate, and a whole bunch of other.
So you had lots of acts on the label then.
And then we signed, and then we kind of shifted, and I kind of moved out of the black music area as far as the label was concerned, and I discovered the Water Boys, Mike Scott, and World Party, and Sinead O'Connor.
Nothing compares to
And what was that place in Essex that you started up, Rich?
Well, that was the Gold Mine.
Oh, was it?
The Gold Mine in
Should have
Camber
got the
Island.
plaque over the door. saying
Indeed, yes.
The birth of the Essex Soul Boy.
Yes, yes, all those places. There was never one single place.
Before I actually did the Caister Soul Weekend, I'd actually have done the ones for the 18 plus and the 18-30 people. Different concept, but the same sort of thing. It was memorable for the soul side of the dance music. And number 10, the 10th anniversary, was particularly brilliant as well.
That's a difficult one, but it's got to be the first Caister because it surprised us all, big time. Seriously surprised us.
Audiences are great.
So how are you finding the audience here?
By looking. They're having it.
Are they having it?
No, they're having it. They're having it large.
Like, do you feel a little bit envious towards some of the DJs of today? Because in a way, you opened the doors to them. You were the pioneer of what we would recognise today as the mobile circuits. Some of these DJs are earning in the region of 6 figures.
I don't resent what today's jocks earn. I mean, I don't. You know, what they earn is they earn what they're worth. If they can put people in a room, that's what they should get.
That some of these DJs, I don't know how much they earn, but they go out there and they earn.
You don't know what they earn. Well, I suggest that would be.
Well, I probably
that
do.
should be your next mission.
I've got a pretty.
I think you should be out there finding out what do they earn, what do these people really earn, and where does it all go?
What do you earn? What are you getting for today then?
No, I'm doing this for charity.
You can't stay here. Oh no, you can't. We haven't got any records left. Oh no, we haven't.
Please like, tag, share and subscribe.
Now this is CLUBAVISION and this is how it's done. This is CLUBAVISION, CLUBAVISION's #1.